We all make choices, and our choices in our life become the habits that we live by day to day. That's what we exemplify to our children. That's what people know us for, and that's what people judge us and react to us with. But many times, those habits are simply choices to conform. And conformity to the masses makes one mediocre. Argentine philosopher Jose Ingenieros once wrote, "The characteristic and unequivocal sign of the mediocre man or woman is their deference for the opinion of others. They never speak, they always repeat. They judge men as they hear them judged." Why? Why choose mediocrity? Why choose conformity? Because as moms and dads of children, as people who stand in our faith, know this: the world, the entire world is literally against us. If you read the Bible, it actually says those words to you and me, right? Christ actually said, "The world hates me. The world will hate you also." We're not supposed to conform and look like everyone else. We're also not supposed to be so obtuse and radically different that we can't fit in society. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being just a firebrand and a wrecking ball that just smashes up against other people. And some people live their faith out just like that. No, that's probably ineffective at best and divisive at its heart. And we're not told to do that either. We're told to be people of salt and life. And just practical tackles, mom and dad. It's like, you got family members that don't agree with you, that don't live like you, that, don't understand your walk, your faith, anything about it. Yet they're still family and you love them and you can. Okay, so driving people out of your life that you care about is not the right answer, and unless it's like truly detrimental to you and your family's life, and that does exist, but we're not talking about it here. We're talking about determination to not be mediocre, to not be conformists, because conforming to the world is, to me and the people I know, it's the sign of a weak church. It's the sign of a weak people. Just nodding your head and going along with what is just fed to you without thinking through things critically and processing things and making your own decisions for yourself. If you go down that path, you go down the path of mediocrity and not making a difference. So, it's December 1st. Happy December. Happy for many of you celebrating the Advent. Happy day of the Advent for December, right? We don't want to waste time. So many people are going into the holiday season. It's a time of joy and festivals. Interestingly enough, it's also a time where people just get wrapped around the bloody axle on how things have to be. Why? Because that's how other people are. It's like, oh, the tree has to be perfect. Our house decorations have to be perfect. I have to do all these things. And you miss the point of the reason for the season that so many proclaim. You miss the point. And you also miss out being a bastion of joy in your home. Okay? And I'm not telling you not to decorate, not to do things. Not the point. I'm telling you, I'm imploring you to not get twisted up like everybody else in the absolute misery of keeping up with everyone else during the season. And this is more than just a December video on the holidays. How you act in your home sets the tone with how your sons and daughters will act. It sets the tone for how they will live their life with their children in the future. It sets the tone for what kind of men and women they are becoming, right? Yes, it does. I don't want you to be mediocre. I don't want me to be mediocre or my kids or my family. I want to make a difference in this world. And I know you do too. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to me. And I'm saying this on December 1 of 2025. Today's a Monday. Because how we set the tone here actually reflects into how the next year looks. I'm a big goal setter, and I'm not one of those business rah goal setting, burn the candle at both ends. It's all about hustle and drive. And it's like, man, I have been there. I've practiced that. I've done those things. And no, that's false. That's a false premise all by itself. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to determine to be a family of difference. I want you to determine to be a man or woman who makes a difference in your life, in your children's lives, so that you truly live a different and better life than the rest of the society and culture that is swirling the proverbial sink bowl right now. I have a story to impart. I had to go get my teeth cleaned, and my dental hygienist, I try to go to the same one because known her for a minute and we have good conversations. It's very exciting having conversations while you're getting your teeth cleaned. I am here to tell you. Yet we do. We persist and drive on. And here's the recent conversation that we had. Poor woman. I don't think she is a woman of faith. It's an assumption. I'm not saying that she doesn't believe in God, not at all. But I think her practice is not regular, correct? So here's the point. We talked about, I was laying in the chair, and one of my last videos was about artificial intelligence. And so I asked her, what's your thoughts on AI? And she just jumped off the cliff all by herself. It was glorious. And she imparted to me, she has little kids. One's 5, one's 3, and they public school their kids. Her husband works. She works. Clearly, she's a dental hygienist for her profession. I'm not against moms working, not in the least. Not what I'm saying. I am against public school. It's a conversation, future coming up for a different time on homeschooling. We'll get there. But this conversation, she told me how it scared her. It scared her because she said she didn't understand it. And then she just kept going on video games. Video games. Who knew? Who knew that conversation would come up? Her son enjoyed Roblox and continues to enjoy Minecraft. And according to her, that she allows him to play every afternoon, but a red flag popped up. Why did a red flag pop up? Because when she picks him up on the way home from school, he has started throwing a conniption fit to, as soon as humanly possible, have the TV on and a game controller in his hand. Pause. I am not fundamentally against video games, or nay, may it never be fun. I like fun, and every once in a while we play video games. We play Minecraft in my house every once in a while, but not all the time, and surely not daily. Back to the narrative at hand. So they have gone through this for a while, and she finally took Roblox away. And I'm just like, so far I'm silent, my mouth's open, she's grinding on my teeth, all the fun things that are happening. But I'm listening to her, and, I applaud her and I encourage her for it. And I'm like, that's good, because, and I've said it to you guys before, and if you haven't heard my videos, dads and moms, go back and listen to my videos on digital content. And I'm not a hater of it, but man, oh man, you have to be diligent and aware. And this was our conversation. I encouraged her and I said, that's the number one place online that predators actually hang out for little kids is Roblox. And then places like Minecraft and Discord channels and all this other stuff. And she's like, what? She'd never heard that before. Honest to goodness, in this day and age where people like me talk, I feel like I talk about it incessantly, she had never heard that predators actually go on there and target kids. And she's like, here's the phrase, but it's a game for kids. Yes, it is. He plays with his friends and his buddies from school. I'm sure he does. And then I went on to explain to her that other people get on there pretending to be little kids to target your little kids. And I just brought up a few names, the 764 group that I brought up before on here, and just some different things going on in the online world. She was shocked. She literally never heard it because she said to me, it's like, well, all of our other friends let their kids do these things too, because it's for kids, it's kid games. So I encouraged her. I didn't beat her down. I didn't call her stupid or dumb or anything, because she's not. She's a conformist because everybody else is doing the same thing, and it's just the easy button to punch and not even think about and just go ahead, and it's like, well, everyone else is doing it, therefore it must be okay. Here's an interesting thing in the middle of her story, and I didn't articulate or ask her this question, but my thoughts, personal thoughts, are, where's the dad? Because I know a lot of guys. I know a lot of guys with kids. And this is my issue. I have chosen to be very, very, very involved in the raising of my children and their education. Am I latching onto my feminist side? Am I? No. Why, no, I'm not. I'm actually following scripture, because the Bible's number one mandate for a father is the education of their children. I've talked about it before. Vodi Bakum, may he rest in peace, my favorite pastor as of late, who passed away this past year, has an incredible sermon on this exact topic of the fathers being responsible for the education of their children. And it gut punched me in the best way possible. I took things really, really seriously. But my question in my head was, where's the dad? Because it doesn't sound like the dad is very much involved in the guiding and molding necessarily of what happens in his home on the daily. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or make a judgment call, but this is a societal thing, because it's what mediocre men do. They ignore their families. They just assume it's all going to work out because they're little kids and the mom's got that, and maybe mom's working and busy and she doesn't know, because all of her friends go along and do the same thing. Do you see what I'm saying here? There's a pattern of life. There's a pattern of decision. There's a pattern of decisions that turn into habit that absolutely affect your children. And this 5-year-old little boy and his sister sitting there watching them is all of a sudden acting like a crazed maniac just to get a remote in their hands every single day. That may be a problem. She asked me, what do you do at home? And I'm like, well, we actually play video games every once in a while, maybe once a week, but we read a lot. We have puzzles. Our kids, my oldest practices blacksmithing. Is that for a 5-year-old? No. Well, maybe they can smack metal in a safe environment with eye protection on, right? And some good guidance. Not a bad thing. We cook a lot. We involve our kids in cooking, even the little short ones, because they have fun. They make a big mess, but man, oh man, they enjoy it. Okay. And they learn to cook. Because moms and dads, especially dads, we're raising men and women. You're not raising children forever, even though that seems to be the model that society is pursuing right now, is the furtherance of forever children, 30, 40, sometimes 50 years old. Probably not the best course. What I want this story to do for you is encourage you, to bolster you, and to tell you it's okay to go against the grain. It's completely okay. As a matter of fact, it's necessary to go against the grain. I completely understand. Changing what we habitually do is hard. But the best things in life come at difficulty, right? They really do. And you all know what I mean. If you work out, if you lift weights, if you go for a run, if you do anything hard, if you pursue ballet or gymnastics or rock climbing or hiking, just going out and getting out in the woods and hiking and stomping up hills and down into valleys and through trees, it can be arduous and great. It has a cost. It takes time. It takes commitment. It takes some determination, right? But it's always worth it at the end of the day because you're doing something that involves activity. It involves determination. I'm going to do this thing. It's going to be difficult, but man, oh man, it's worth it. All right. So here's some practicals that I will be continuing to practice, and I'm going to encourage you to practice as well. What can you do if you determine I have too much habitual mediocrity in my life? How can you determine to make a difference for you, for your spouse, for your children, for your home, for your future? It's really what I mean here. It's really what this month can turn into. And I'm going to continually be coming on here with different topics throughout the rest of the month to walk with you and talk with you and show you a different path. All right. What can we do? Well, examine your life. Start there. Where have you chosen conformity and therefore mediocrity? I'm not saying that we all don't have it. I do too. We all get complacent, okay? Things do get busy, things do happen, but we need to make a practice, a habit of examining ourselves and be like, where can I improve? Where can I work to make a change that's going to make a good difference for me, to make a good difference for my home. Okay. As a man, as a father, as a husband, I am responsibility for my home. It's what God tells me. I don't care what society says because society screams the opposite and encourages conformity, right? It encourages weakness, weak men. Weak men breed weak families and encourage a complacent society. That's what mediocrity evolves from, right? So, examine your life. Where are these things? Make a list, write it down, think, have conversation with your husband, have a conversation with your wife. Okay? Look at your kids. I don't want to lay a heavy burden on you. That's not this. Actually, freeing yourself from mediocrity is such a breath of fresh air, and it creates peace. It creates peace, it creates joy, and it creates a better trajectory than where you're at today. Why? Because you know you're pursuing the better things in life. 2, why? Why are you being mediocre? Why are you conforming? Why have you allowed these things? There's usually a reason, but we have to examine that reason. Is it simply to go along with what people are saying? Is it simply to avoid a possible difficult conversation? Is it simply to just keep the peace and not ever rock the boat for any reason? Don't be that way. Sometimes boats need rocking to see if they're going to be stable in rough weather or a future storm, because storms do come. Okay. And people who live a mediocre life cannot withstand anything that comes against them. They fold, they quake, they have to look outside for assistance. And many times they just fail. And that's sad. Storms do come. I want strong families. I want strong fathers, strong mothers, strong children. Because why? Well, because the world is against us. It just is. If we are people of faith, the world is absolutely against us and what we think and what we do and what we stand for. Be encouraged. Fight. Make a stand. Examine. Determine why. And then think, what would it look like to no longer conform? What would that look like next time it comes up, or even now? What would it look like to not be a mediocre minion? To not just go along to go along? What would it look like to have a difficult conversation? What would it look like to say, no, I don't agree with that. No, I don't think that way. No, we don't practice these things in our home. No, I don't agree with my daughter dressing like that. No, I don't agree with keeping her ignorant as to why she should look better and a little bit more covered up than the rest of the girls walking around out there. No, am I squashing her? No, I'm investing in her and building up her self-worth and her confidence and her beauty. And I'm saving her for her future spouse that will then take care of her in life. Think about that. Your daughter's future spouse will have to take care of your daughter and stand with her and walk with her when her father gets sick and her mother gets sick, and inevitably we pass on. When tough things happen, what a way to think about your children. And that's actually my point. We're raising men and women. We're not perpetuating children. The perpetuation of children is what has caused this just insane mediocrity that is affecting everything that is going on in our world right now. Think through these things. Determined to be different than the masses. Okay? We proclaim faith, almost everybody on here. And if you don't, man, engage me. I'd love to have the conversation. If you don't want to engage the conversation, just listen on, because I will keep talking about this. But we believe in God. We believe in a creator. We are created. He is holy. We are not. He sent his son to die for us all, to redeem us. And this gives us hope. And this is the hope that we live in all the time. Okay? Faith, raw, Christianity, Judeo-Christian values, ethics, background, and everything. Okay? This is what I believe. This is what many of you purport to believe as well. So that alone makes you radically different than the rest of the world. Fathers, stand in your faith. Hate the phrase because I hear it too much, but honestly, man up. Man up for what counts, not man up for the things that are like, bro, man up, man, to do whatever. No. Man up for your family. Man up for your responsibilities. Man up for what you are going to be judged for. And you will. Okay? How our families turn out falls on the father. How we raise our children matters. I want us to be better. Mothers, don't be afraid to have tough conversations with your husband. Don't be afraid to have a tough conversation with yourself. Don't be afraid to have a tough conversation with people who proclaim that they're friends. Are they? It's a good question by itself. Are they? Are they good friends? Or are there some friends that you need to maybe have a tough inner conversation with to evaluate them, to ask yourself why you're friends with them, and maybe have a tough conversation about how maybe it's time to not hang out so much. Or maybe there's some friendships that you need to invest in more. Maybe there's some practices that you need to re-engage with. God has given us this life. We can be free to pursue his goodness, his truth, and the beauty of the things he made in creation. Be encouraged, mom and dad. I'm Rick Sigmund. This is the Family Readiness Project. Please let me know what you think. You can email me support@familyreadinessproject.com. I love to hear from you all every time. Leave a message where you're listening to this. If you're on YouTube, definitely leave a message. I respond to everyone. I respond to each email as well. I'm here with you and for you. I have a lot of work I'm doing behind the scenes, again, in the best way, to continue on the digital discernment course and many other things coming up. I'm excited about this. Thank you. God bless you guys for listening to this and being a part of it. Talk to you soon.